to What's Her Name interviews. I'm What's Her Name, Naomi Murden, and this is Melissa Mitchell. Welcome.
Thank you.
I feel like we shouldn't pretend that we haven't known each other for 8 years.
All right.
So we're friends.
The truth is out.
The truth is out
We've
there.
known each other for a long time.
We're really good friends.
8 years.
I think so.
It's almost a decade.
It's almost. We should have a little party.
Yeah, we should.
Gets to the decade. Okay, so today we're interviewing Miss Melissa. Oh, what's your name?
Melissa Mitchell.
Melissa Mitchell. Melissa Mitchell. Because she is a rising Broadway star.
Yeah.
It's just the truth. And she is in Les Mis, the revival Les Mis, in Broadway, in Broadway, on Broadway,
And on it.
in it and
Above
on
it.
below it.
All of those things.
And bookends.
Okay.
The bookends. Anyway, she's in the show in New York on Broadway, Les Mis. You might have heard of it. And she is in the ensemble, but also she covers Cosette. And tonight she's going on as Cosette. So exciting! So a couple of questions. Take us back, because this is the first show on Broadway you've done.
Yes.
Your debut.
Yes.
What a great show to make your debut in.
Yeah.
Take us back to the phone call when your agent calls you and says, Melissa, you've got it.
The phone call. The phone call that I've been waiting for since I was about 8 years old when I started doing this. So I was on the phone with my sister on our landline. We still have a landline, like a lot of people. But
You're
we
retro.
have, yeah, very retro, vintage landline. So I was on the landline, and my agent, with my sister, I was talking to my sister on the phone, and I knew that the phone call was probably going to be coming that day. And then my cell phone starts ringing, and it was my agent. So I said to my sister, "It's my agent. Do you want to stay on the phone?" And she said, "Yes, of course." So she was in one ear, and then I picked up the phone, and my agent was in the other ear. And all Madison could hear was, I got it. And she started like sobbing, laughing, crying. So I have her in one ear going just hysterical. And then my agent going, "Oh my gosh, we're so excited for you. Here are the details." I'm like, I'm like trying to hear, and I'm like, Madison, shh. So it was really funny because I think Madison expressed all the emotions that I should have expressed, but I was trying to stay calm and collected for my agent on the phone, though she was very excited too. And and it was pretty exciting, a pretty memorable moment. And then I Skyped with Madison, and we called the rest of my family on my phone so that we could all, be in on the news together.
You're excited.
So,
Did you cry at any time?
I didn't. Oh, I don't think I did in that moment. There were different times throughout the waiting process before rehearsals where all of a sudden I would burst into tears.
Right.
I probably cried later that day. I think I did. It's all a blur. That whole day is a pretty blurry day. I didn't get out of my pajamas the whole day. My roommate bought me flowers, which was so nice. I know one of the memorable times when I really cried, because it was very surreal. It was like, this isn't real. What's happening? But I was seeing Pippin, like maybe a month or two after I got the phone call, and the Pippin Theater is right next door. We're neighbors to the Imperial Theater where is now my home right now. And so as Pippin started, I was like, we've got magic to do, and I just started bawling because I thought on the other side of that wall is our stage, and we're going to be doing that 8 times a week. And I just started bawling and sobbing, and the people next to me probably thought I was crazy because they thought I was having an emotional reaction to the beginning of Pippin. But it was really just the reality kind of sinking in. Yeah. And I've cried many moments since then. First preview was a big one, big crying moment. First time I went on as Cosette, tears up the wazoo.
Up the wazoo.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, I would hear the story about your rehearsal, the rehearsal process, and the barricade. That's one of my favorites.
That's a good story. Okay, so we had many times during the rehearsal process that were fun, basically activities and things to really get us in the world of the play and the story. And so there was a day when, before we started blocking the barricade, when our director sat us down and basically talked us through the whole barricade. Wait, real quick, you can edit this out, right? Yeah. Should I be looking at the camera more, or should I look at you? I don't know. Okay, that. So there was a day, when we started blocking the barricade, our director sat us down and basically took us through, just spoke us through the entire barricade journey. Then they said, okay, here's what we're going to do. Because how many musical theater actors have thought like this?
Right.
It's something that we don't, we have to really dig to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So they got us thinking about what's a cause worth fighting for and dying for each of us personally. Think about that. And then they had us all stand up and sing. Do you hear the people sing? Starting with our Andras, he led us. And we just stood there. We did door blocking. We just stood there, sang the song, and then for 2 minutes afterwards, they said, then we're going to let you rip apart this entire rehearsal room and build your own barricade in the middle of the rehearsal studio.
Nice New York.
Yeah.
Rehearsal studio.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Just go. And they said, but don't touch our director's tables. Don't touch our laptops. So everything else was fair game. So basically, that's what we did. So, he starts singing the song, and it was the most kind of fiery and passionate, I think, that we ever sang the song together, built this wonderful camaraderie for us as a cast. The song finished, and they said, go. And for 2 minutes, we all ran around the room, grabbing anything we could find. We were grabbing props that we used in rehearsals, these big stair units that we had that are set pieces in the show, but we had rehearsal versions of them. So we put those in the middle. I mean, things were flying. One of the Gavrashes, something almost fell on him, and someone else, pushed him out of the way and got hurt in, saving our little Gavrache. So, it was actually dangerous. Mm-hmm. And we've got, costume racks with rehearsal skirts on them, everything. And it was the longest 2 minutes of my life. I was like, was it still going? But it was, very passionate and dangerous and fiery and exciting. And then they said, okay, 2 minutes is up. And they had us all step back and look at what we did, and we had built a massive barricade in the middle of the rehearsal studio. And it wasn't stable by any means. I mean, then what we do in the show, there's even someone in the show who, you might not catch this, I caught it last night on stage, someone's hammering some pieces on barricades. So once we put it together, we would then hammer it to secure it. We did not do this for the pieces of rehearsal. But we did build a barricade, and then took about 10 minutes to help our wonderful stage management team put everything back. Take down it was. Because poor stage management was like, oh, this is not fun. But it was an incredible experience, and now when we run on at the beginning of the barricade scene in the musical, I try to remember that moment because it really was a feeling like I've never experienced before, so it was pretty amazing.
That sounds so much fun.
Build your own barricade. Do it yourself.
Build your own barricade, kids.
Go build your own barricade.
Send Whatshername photos. Actually, I hope you do. We've just started our own revolution.
Oh my goodness.
Right now. Yeah. On Whatshername interviews. So how long does it run? Forever?
Well, yeah. I mean, hopefully forever and ever. It's an indefinite run. So as long as people buy tickets, we'll be here. Who knows? Maybe we'll break a new Broadway record.
Let's do that.
Maybe not.
Let's do that.
I don't know. We'll see.
So it's at the Imperial
Theater
in New York. If you're in New York, go and check it out.
Yeah.
Or if you're somewhere else, like I'm from California, fly to New York.
3,000 miles, yeah.
And
dedication.
Friends
for 8 years.
8 years. That's what it is. Anything else? Oh, let's give some people advice for if they want to be Broadway stars. What would you say? Well, you started when you were 8.
Yeah, I started when I was 8. I would say first and foremost, if you're going to pursue this, you have to love it because it's a very difficult business. And so if there's, any part of you that your heart's not fully invested in the art of what it is, the business aspect of it, it's just so hard that it's not going to be worth it. So you have to really, really love it. But I know there are so many people out there who do love it as much and more than I do. And so totally go for it. I like to always remind myself before I go into auditions a saying that my friend said in a show a few years back. She said, always remember we have nothing to prove and everything to share. I think that's great because the minute you're trying to prove something, you've lost the art of it. And really it's about sharing and telling a story, and that's why we do this. And that's what's interesting to watch is someone sharing. So train, train like crazy. There's always more to learn. I think auditioning is a great way to train for free. Go on as many auditions as you can, and never feel like you've learned everything. There is always more to learn. I'm always learning now, and as I continue to audition and do the show I'm in, I'm continuously learning things now. And that process just keeps happening, and it's so much fun as long as you know, it's about the stories that we're telling, and that's what acting is. So that's why we do it. That's why we love it. Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. This is wonderful. All right, guys. All 50 of you who probably watched this. Thank you for watching. Thank you, Melissa Mitchell.
You're welcome.
Hence, I love you too. I'm going to go see her tonight, so maybe we'll. I'm probably going to cry. I'll have to probably tell the person next to me. Like, you had your little Pippin breakdown.
Yeah.
I need you to know something. My best friend's in this show, and she's Cosette. So I might cry. I'm going to buy it.
But it's a show that you're allowed to cry in.
Yes,
that's
of
the
course.
goal. We want to make people cry.
The only
Make people cry with Les
Mis. We make you
Mis.
cry.
Make people cry.
Okay, so go and cry because of this story. And see Melissa I did it again. And see Melissa Mitchell in Les Mis on Broadway.
Thank you.
Bye.